Good morning, children. Sai Ram. Welcome back to your online teaching session after your vacations. Hope all have enjoyed your vacations and all are safe at home. So, you must have submitted all your assignments, right? So, let's proceed today with the next part of our political science second lesson, that is India's foreign policy, part 3. Now children, in the first two parts we have seen that India has adopted a mixed economy, and also the non-alignment policy was adopted by India. And as we talk about foreign policy, we have also learned what is a foreign policy and how each nation frames its own foreign policy according to the requirements of the country. So we shall study further that after independence how India has framed its own foreign policy according to the requirements of the country, as and when it also had to go through the various challenges during that period. So we are going to learn about the foreign policy, the stages of the foreign policy from 1947 till date. Okay, we shall study it in two parts. So just see, as we know that India adopted the policy of non-alignment in the context of the Cold War. So when the Cold War was going on between the two nations, that is USA and USSR, India did not involve with either of the country in any kind of war, though there were other nations who were being given military help and also promised to give security and were forced to join those two superpowers. But India followed the policy of non-alignment. And as a result, according to the policy which was followed, the most important priority was given to maintain friendly relations with the other nations, and also to take help which is required for the development of the country from various countries, that is also to take help as well as give help to the others if required. So due to the policy of non-alignment, as India was not involved with any of the two countries, India could get aid, that is help, from both the superpowers, that is USA and USSR. So both the superpowers provided help to India, and accordingly we see that there was a lot of stress on India in order to strengthen the military, that is the defense system of India. In order to make it strong, there was a lot of stress on the Indian government, and so there was technology was required in order to adopt to the new means, and so technology which was required for this was imported. Soviet Union, France and Germany helped India in this matter. So in this matter, in order to strengthen the defense system of India, Soviet Union, France and Germany, they helped India in this matter. In this period also, India had to face some challenges. Now these included the conflict with Pakistan, creation of Bangladesh, and conflict with China. So we have learnt about this in our previous part, like how India had to face various challenges during this period, wherein it was the conflict with Pakistan, and also the creation of a separate state of Bangladesh, and also conflict with China. Then India proved her nuclear capability by conducting nuclear tests in 1974. So India was also no less in implementing new technology. So it proved its nuclear capability by conducting the nuclear test in 1974. So this was the first stage of the development wherein India had taken place, that is from 1947 till 1990. After the period from 1990, we could see that various means of technology had come into existence, and as a result, with that India was able to progress more vigorously. So let's see the second stage, that is from 1991 till date, that is till today. So India's foreign policy became more comprehensive and dynamic in the second stage. So as we have seen that foreign policy was not just to maintain good relations, but also to develop one's own nation. So accordingly, foreign policy after 1991, it became comprehensive and was dynamic in the second stage. In the past Cold War, the priority no longer remained to political and military relations. So, we had seen that when Cold War was there between the two nations, the most priority was given to militarily strong nations. So, accordingly, in the post Cold War, the priority was means post Cold War means after the Cold War, there was no more importance was given to political and military relations, but also to have relations at a global level also. So several other dimensions like economy, trade, education and technology got included in foreign policy. So that means not only a country with who is militarily strong will be considered to be as a strong nation, but also it included the dimensions like economy, trade relations and education and technology. It also got more importance in the foreign policy. So accordingly, new schemes were implemented related to economy, related to education and technology. Then further, after 1991, India reduced the government control over the economy and adopted the free market policy. So later, as we have learnt about previously we learnt about the three types of economy, that is the mixed economy, capitalist and the socialist economy. So after 1991 we see that India had reduced the governmental control over the economy and it adopted free market policy. So naturally there was an increase in trade with neighboring countries. So as everybody was free to market all over the nation at a global level, so because of that what happened was trade was increased with the neighboring country and also our share in world trade increased. So the share of India in world trade had increased. Efforts were also being made to increase the rate of economic growth. And so, in the decade after 1990, our relations with South Asian countries like Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam, etc. became stronger. So, after this we could see that after 1990, because of the free market policy, there was more of trade relations with the other neighboring countries as well, and so our relations with the South Asian countries also became more strong. Then our trade exchange with Israel, Japan, China and European Union increased. So now our trade started expanding far and wide, and so the exchange with Israel, Japan, China and European Union also increased. Then India began to participate in organizations at the international and regional levels more than before. So now the contribution of India was more at international and regional levels also. For example, G20 and BRICS, that is Brazil, Russia, India, China, Africa. So accordingly, India started contributing at international level, also at regional level to a greater extent in order for the economic development of the country. Also, we could see that our relations with the American countries was also strengthened. With America had strengthened and there was a trust and faith between the two countries. So, mutual trust had increased and India's status rose in the international community. So, ultimately, India got a good status at international level as well. So India's nuclear policy is an important part of India's foreign policy. So also we have seen that India wanted to show its nuclear capability, and so it proved also by means of the nuclear test. So India's nuclear policy is an important part of India's foreign policy. Now children, having understood the importance of nuclear power, India undertook the nuclear energy program immediately after independence. So after independence, as India have become well versed now in nuclear power, it had understood the importance of nuclear power, and so it undertook the nuclear energy program immediately after independence. For this, we established the Department of Atomic Energy and the Indian Atomic Energy Commission. So what was established? the Department of Atomic Energy and the Indian Atomic Energy Commission. And the first chairman of the Indian Atomic Energy Commission was Dr. Homi Bhabha. So, even though electricity generation was the main purpose behind the program, it also aimed at creating military capability. So, what was the main aim of this Atomic Energy Commission? So, its main aim was generation of electricity. But at the same time, it also concentrated on creating India's military capability. And so, as a consequence of this, India conducted her first nuclear test in 1974. So, India also built nuclear weapons and conducted nuclear tests in 1998. And we have also made missiles carrying nuclear weapons, and the Air Force and the Navy have been enabled for carrying them. So we are all very well aware about the various missiles, okay, made by India, and which carried nuclear weapons, and even the Air Force and the Navy was enabled for carrying them, right? So India is now country which has nuclear weapon. So India is now a country which has nuclear weapons. But we don't make use of this nuclear weapons for any war purpose or causing any disturbance to the world peace, right? So we have accepted the role of a new responsible nuclear power. And India has been consistently supporting efforts for disarmament, because it is India's positions that there should be peace and security in the world. So India had been consistently supporting for the efforts of disarmament, because what is the main aim of Indian government is to maintain world peace and security everywhere. And so it did not make any misuse of all these nuclear weapons. So children, in this lesson we have learnt about what is a foreign policy and how each country frames its own foreign policy according to its needs and demands of the people in the country. And also it helped, it also had been taken care of that the foreign policy will further help for the economic development of the country and increase the national income, which would be beneficial for all the people in the country. Also, it had raised the standard at national, international and regional level, and also by implementing various technology and accepting various nuclear powers. Accordingly, you could see that India had done a great progress by implementing the foreign policy. So here we stop with this lesson today. We shall proceed with the next lesson in our next class. Till then,